Hello, and welcome to this journey for Earth Connection. This shamanic journey was led by Jordan Scott from a state of health during Earth Week in 2021. This was originally a group class that was offered by Zoom, and we've uploaded it here for your viewing or listening pleasure. Please just take a few moments to find a comfortable space where you can lie down and relax, feeling safe and warm and comfortable. We'll be preparing to begin in a few moments, so feel free to pause this video and set yourself up and come back when you're ready.
Shamanism is a very, very old practice that is universal, something that has been showing up in cultures all the way around the world. And one thing that we all have in common when we start to explore shamanism is that we become a little bit more attuned to the sounds of nature, if you will, the whispers of nature. Practicing shamanism gives us an opportunity to really connect with the planet and the plants and the animals in a little bit of a more, well, obviously a more spiritual way, just a deeper connection. And when we shift our perspective in this way, we start to gain a lot of information. There's a lot of wisdom that nature can offer us when we're willing to listen. And so in this journey tonight, that's really our whole intention. We're just going to connect with the planet from the spirit world. So we'll be interacting with birds and animals of all different sorts, with plants, with trees, and in particular, we'll be journeying with the tree of life. So in this whole practice, really the intention is just to pay attention, to listen, to feel, to sense, to ground ourselves, and be open to receiving the wisdom that comes from nature. So without further ado, I think it's a nice time for us to open up our practice. Obviously, this is our intention, so we can hold this loosely in our mind or in our hearts. And we'll just take a few moments to allow ourselves to become fully present. So you can actually lie down if you like. However you want to be positioned for your journey, you can set yourself up now. So allow yourself a few moments to settle in. If there are any little adjustments that you can make to make yourself just slightly more comfortable, please feel free. Wiggling your toes and your fingers, maybe giving yourself a full body stretch, and then nestling in. Cover yourself with a blanket if you feel like you'd like to be any warmer. And if you have an eye pillow or a little scarf that feels luxurious to cover your eyes with, you can go ahead and place that on now. We'll start by feeling the weight of our bodies on the earth, or on the cushions or the bed below us. Just feeling the weight of ourselves resting on the ground. We'll see if we can encourage just a little bit more relaxation anywhere in the body. Surrendering to this support below you, knowing that you're in a safe place. Begin to watch the breath as it moves through the body. Just becoming curious about the flow of the breath. And feeling in the body to notice what is moving, where it goes. Remember any details about your day. From when you woke up this morning and had breakfast. Maybe you went outside today. Maybe you had lots of things to do. Maybe you had a nice lunch. Maybe there were moments that brought you joy. And perhaps you noticed a bird singing or the wind or the snow. Coming all the way back to this moment where you're preparing yourself for this journey. And you can let your mind look ahead as well. Maybe into the later part of this evening, into tomorrow. Just remembering maybe one or two things that you want to do tomorrow. Just things that you'd like to do, not that you need to do. And then we'll let those thoughts drift away. And again, we'll come back to the present moment. We'll start to alter our breath slightly. Breathing in, perhaps on a count of 4. Breathing out on the count of 5. When the breath leaves the body, just pause, letting it hang in suspension for a moment before you breathe in again. Again, the breath in is just slightly shorter than the breath out. And just enjoy this rhythm that slows down the mind, slows down the activity in the body and the nervous system, helps to prepare our brains for a shift into a deeper state of consciousness. So use this pranayama or this breathing practice for maybe 2 or 3 more rounds of breath. And then bring your breath back to its natural rhythm. No more pausing, no more holding, just steady and smooth and natural. Notice how the body craves the breath in. The breath is the most relieving source. And the body relaxes as the breath moves out. Just follow the rhythm of your breath a little bit longer. And as you do this, notice if your body becomes heavier. Perhaps you're starting to notice from the inside that the body is becoming very tired and relaxed. And the mind is drifting loosely from here and there. if any strong thoughts or feelings come, just let them move through you as if you were a screen and the thoughts were the wind. Just let them pass. Allow the body to totally relax now. And if at any moment in this journey you find yourself drifting in sleep or getting carried off by those windy thoughts again, just come back to the sound of my voice. Bring your intention and your attention back to the journey wherever we are. I'd like you now to begin to imagine that you're standing in a forest, looking out into the many trees that are around you. Perhaps there's dapples of sunlight trickling through the leaves. And maybe you experience the wind gently blowing through this space. As you softly gaze out into this beautiful view, you notice one particular tree that seems to dance in the wind. This possibly could even have legs and hips and arms as it moves very smoothly in a very human-like dance. As you take this tree in with your whole sense perception, your eyes and your heart, your mind, you listen as well, and you begin to feel inspired to move by it. Dancing your way over to this tree, you mimic its movements, swaying here and there, arms flowing, feet dancing on the ground below you. And as you get closer, you notice there seems to be a sort of electromagnetic field around this tree as it draws you in. Your heart begins to fill up as you get closer and you enter the energy field of this tree. You find a source of joy springing from deep within, and let a smile dance across your face. As you are swaying and feeling and listening with this tree, you notice its energy beginning to create some sort of whirlwind. You come in nice and close to the trunk, and perhaps you feel moved to hug or to touch this tree. And as you do so, you feel deeply connected, grounded and supported, yet elevated and expansive. And this whirlwind begins to become a little stronger with each passing moment. The force of the wind takes you deep into it, and your form and the form of the tree begin to dissolve until you are one. Feeling this whirling, dancing motion, you notice how the ground below you seems to open, or rather, this whirlwind movement begins to bore down into the earth, following the root system of this great tree. You and the tree begin to go down into the earth, still feeling light, almost like energy or light or just wind, swirling around and around and around. And as you go, you may feel giddy, you may feel joyous and happy. This energy that is light and bubbly rises within you as you continue to go down to the lower world. We are journeying through this tree's whirlwind of an energy force. And soon enough, we start to feel something solid below us once again. And at this place, through the center of this tree's trunk, or the cord of spirit that joins the three worlds, we find ourselves at the lower world. Our form begins to become a little bit more dense as we solidify and identify our own spirit as slightly other in its own form. You see the tree again, but the whirling and swirling of this energy field begins to settle into a very peaceful and calm and serene, gentle state. Feeling the earth below your feet, maybe you notice the moistness of the earth. And if you have shoes or slippers or socks on, you remove them here so your feet of your spirit body connect directly to the earth. Perhaps this soil is dark and soft, or maybe there are more pebbles, moss, mulch. Take in whatever is below you. And notice how your feet seem happy to meet the ground here. Each step that you take is gentle and mindful, almost like a kiss of the earth. You may feel drawn to keep dancing and moving here, or you may feel drawn to lie down, stepping back and taking in this magnificent tree. Notice as you gaze upon it, all the little forms of life that are crawling and flying and fluttering and jumping from limb to limb. In the spirit world, every aspect of nature is alive and vibrant, reaching out with joy to meet you. Perhaps your gaze turns from the tree to, the horizon or the space around you. Notice what calls to you here. Go ahead and turn your attention to any of the spirits of nature that are seemingly wanting to communicate. Open the third eye and listen, opening up to receive messages, even if it's just a greeting. Remain very present in this spirit space, connecting your senses to this place, feeling with your hands, with your feet, the physical sense, but also with your heart. And notice if there are any radiating areas that harmonize with your heart center. You may feel drawn to place your back or your chest upon any of these natural beings. If it is calling you in, feel free, as it is an invitation for you to receive those vibrations and exchange communication. The spirits of nature are just as curious of you as you are of them. Just notice how you feel, what emotions arise. And looking around here, notice if there are any animals that would like to meet you or communicate with you. If anything is walking or crawling, slithering or flying by, and it seems to be making contact with you, welcome it to come closer. You can reach out a hand and see if this spirit being wants to be touched or to touch. Observing it in its natural form. Again, soften your mental focus, allowing the third eye to open for you to perceive more and gain the wisdom that these beings have to offer. Notice how this creature moves. Be curious about the way that it lives. If there is anything in particular about the lifestyle or life transition of this creature, pay attention, observe. And if you have any curiosities or questions, anything you're wondering about with this creature, go ahead and ask. Now begin to relax in this space a little bit more. And if the animal spirit wants to stay, it will. Perhaps you lie down on a mossy bed below the canopy of this tree of life, this vibrant hub of life. And as you relax your mind and your body and you gaze up at this tree, notice all the sounds around you, all the voices, every blade of grass, every leaf blowing in the wind, every bird, every worm, every squirrel, all the flowers, the rocks, the rivers, the soil below you. Listen to the voices of nature. When all of these voices sing together, there is a beautiful, harmonious melody, and the sound is almost like a crystal that's clear and clean and crisp, and it moves you, clearing away confusion, clearing away stagnancies, clearing away any of that old energy, those old particles that are not helping you, that are not pure, that are not of your highest self. Allow the voices of the many, the nature spirit, to cleanse your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit. As this process of healing and rejuvenation takes place, you start to awaken again. The body becomes just slightly more active here in the spirit world. Perhaps you sit up and once again gaze back at this magnificent tree before you. Before we journey back, if you have any questions that you would like to ask the Tree of Life, or if you would like to receive a teaching, now is the time. Again, open your third eye, open your heart, reach out with your energy to communicate with this tree. And then soften as you receive and you listen and learn. We will begin to offer our gratitude to all of the spirits that have intermingled with us, that have become known to us. Thank the animals and the plants. Thank the soil, the moss, the grass. Thank the streams, the wind, the light. And finally, we thank the tree of life, this amazing source of vitality, stability, strength, and serenity. Now it is time to return home. So as you step closer to this tree, find a little place on the bark that looks like the perfect shape for you to place your forehead against. And as you do this, connecting the third eye to the tree of life, take in whatever last messages there are to receive. And now that whirlwind of spirit and energy, light and moving air begins up again. Again, our form and the form of the tree begins to dissolve until the barriers are gone. All energy, all light, all movement of air we are as we transition upwards, rising and spiraling, expanding and contracting. Rising up into the light. And again, feeling those delightful bubbles rising. This feeling of softness, of lightness, of openness, yet still grounded, still connected as we travel up through the roots and the trunk of this great tree. And alas, we arrive again, back where we started. We separate from the tree and our form begins to become more dense. We start to identify with the physical form once again. From here, let's just gently and slowly back away from this tree, taking in its magnificent beauty one more time, and again offering our gratitude to this spirit for not only helping us to transition through the worlds of spirit and the physical reality, but for all the wisdom and insight and life-giving vitality that it provides. Now slowly we'll allow this vision to fade, dissolving like little specks of stardust, until our vision becomes dark once again. And we start to connect with the body. Feeling the earth below us, the cushions, the bed, the floor, wherever you are. Starting to deepen the breath here. Feeling the breath moving the body. Begin to imagine the space that you're seated in or laying down in. Just Just imagining the boundaries of the room around you. And if there are any objects in the room, just starting to imagine where they are and their shape. Imagining the shape of your body, your physical form, and gently begin to stretch, moving in the body. Keeping the eyes closed, just a few more moments here. Allowing yourself to gradually come back from this rest, this journey. Perhaps just remembering some of the most inspiring messages and visions and feelings that you had. And in a few moments, we'll wake ourselves completely by opening the eyes. And slowly, as you're ready, you can begin to blink the eyes open. Taking your time to stretch and arrive back in your space. Sitting up when you're ready. And if you feel called to write down any notes, any little key messages or visions or feelings that you received in the journey, you can take a few moments here.
Thank you for listening. Once again, this is Jordan from A State of Health. I wish you a very peaceful and wonderful day.